Have you ever wondered why the most resilient minds seem unshakable? Why those who possess true inner strength rarely get caught up in the chaos of daily provocations? It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? We live in an age where quick reactions and emotional responses are often seen as signs of authenticity and engagement. Yet, the ancient Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, understood something profound about the power of non-reaction. But what lies beneath this wisdom? What can we learn from this timeless philosophy? Have you considered why those who demonstrate remarkable emotional intelligence tend to maintain their composure in challenging situations? Why do individuals who possess a deep understanding of human nature choose not to be swayed by every external stimulus? It may seem paradoxical at first glance. Before we delve into Marcus Aurelius's perspective, picture a modern office environment during a crisis. Amid the flurry of panicked emails and stressed colleagues, imagine someone maintaining their calm, observing the situation with clarity, and responding with measured consideration rather than reacting impulsively. In this scenario, who displays greater wisdom? The person immediately jumping to action and spreading their stress to others, or the individual who takes time to assess before responding? If you're drawn to the latter, you're beginning to grasp the profound insight that Marcus Aurelius championed. Many confuse non-reaction with passivity or indifference, but this Roman emperor philosopher saw it as a form of active engagement with reality, stripped of emotional turbulence. While others chase quick solutions and immediate responses, those who practice non-reaction choose deliberate observation. In our current landscape of instant notifications and constant demands for attention, the ability to pause before reacting becomes almost revolutionary. It might seem counterproductive in a world that values quick decisions, but it's precisely in these moments of pause that we gain the clarity needed to see situations for what they truly are. There's an interesting phenomenon where those who react less frequently tend to command more attention. When they do choose to act, their responses carry more weight because they emerge from a place of careful consideration. Some argue that in today's competitive environment, taking time to respond means missing opportunities. But the real question isn't about never reacting. It's about knowing when reaction truly serves a purpose. Conversely, those who master non-reaction maintain a certain autonomy and control over their circumstances. During conflicts, this practice pause serves as a shield, preventing others from manipulating our emotional triggers. It's not about being passive or submissive, but rather about conserving energy for what truly matters. A scene that illustrates this power of non-reaction might unfold in a high-stakes business meeting. Picture two executives facing a crisis. One immediately launches into defensive explanations and reactive solutions, while the other takes a moment to absorb the information, asks thoughtful questions, and then offers a measured response. It doesn't take long for colleagues to notice that the more composed individual, when finally taking action, provides solutions that address root causes rather than symptoms. The result? People increasingly seek their counsel because they trust that their responses come from wisdom rather than impulse. When Marcus Aurelius observed human behavior in his court, he believed this kind of measured approach reflected an inner discipline, a restraint born from understanding that not every stimulus requires an immediate response. Another crucial benefit of non-reaction, according to Stoic philosophy, is its ability to foster genuine understanding. Usually, during confrontations or discussions, we're mentally preparing our defense or counter-argument without truly grasping the situation at hand. This behavior leads to superficial exchanges, where no one seeks to understand, only to prove their point. When we consciously delay our reaction, we create space to comprehend not just the words being spoken, but the underlying motivations and emotions driving them. This type of mindful observation deepens our understanding of both situations and people, as we begin to see beyond immediate triggers to root causes. Thus, non-reaction transforms from mere restraint into a tool for deeper insight. However, we must remember that non-reaction doesn't mean permanent inaction. There are times when swift response is necessary, particularly in the face of clear injustice, or when crucial matters hang in the balance. The wisdom lies in distinguishing between these situations. In practical terms, non-reaction can also serve as a gateway to better self-understanding. The impulse to react doesn't just come from external stimuli. It's deeply connected to our internal landscape of thoughts, fears, and ingrained patterns. Choosing to pause before reacting, whether through meditation or simply taking a mindful break without distractions, allows us to see more clearly what drives our responses. Marcus Aurelius understood that looking inward with patience is essential for developing any meaningful control over our reactions to the world. In today's world, saturated with social media triggers and inflammatory online discussions, practicing non-reaction might seem more challenging than ever. Yet it's precisely this environment that makes it such a valuable skill. Sometimes, not immediately responding to a provocative comment shows far greater intelligence than engaging in a futile argument. This isn't about passivity, it's about recognizing that not every provocation deserves your energy. The challenge lies in resisting the urge to respond immediately, which can be developed through simple practices. Rather than pursuing the temporary satisfaction of a quick retort, we can train ourselves to pause for a few seconds before responding, examine our motivations, and then decide if engagement serves a purpose. It's worth noting that great leaders throughout history, from Julius Caesar to George Washington, mastered the art of strategic non-reaction, understanding that measured responses carry more weight than impulsive ones. Consider how many regrettable actions stem from immediate reactions. We discover more about ourselves and others when we create space between stimulus and response. Similarly, historical figures who gained lasting respect often chose their moments of action carefully, making their interventions more impactful when they did occur. If you want to begin applying this principle in practice, you can adopt several simple strategies without making radical changes to your routine. Try, for example, implementing a 10-second pause before responding to any challenging situation. This brief pause, though small, significantly reduces impulsive reactions. You might also practice listening to opposing viewpoints without interrupting, and instead of immediately countering, ask a thoughtful question that deepens understanding. Experiment with digital non-reaction by waiting an hour before responding to non-urgent messages, using that time to observe your initial emotional response and let it settle. Here's an interesting challenge you can try right now. Choose someone you frequently disagree with, perhaps a colleague or family member, and during your next interaction, focus entirely on understanding their perspective rather than preparing your response. Notice how they react to your measured attention, how the conversation's quality changes when you're not mentally preparing counterarguments. After the conversation, reflect on how much more you learned about their viewpoint when you weren't focused on defending your own. Our final point addresses balance. Marcus Aurelius never advocated for complete detachment from the world. He understood that non-reaction should be a conscious choice, not an escape. The true value lies in knowing when action is genuinely necessary, when your response can serve a greater purpose than merely satisfying an impulse. Non-reaction is effective until the moment your considered action becomes essential. When you do choose to act, each response carries more weight because it comes from a place of clarity rather than compulsion. That's the beauty of practicing non-reaction. Every action becomes purposeful, relevant, and worthy of others' attention. In the end, we see that Marcus Aurelius wasn't simply promoting an ancient practice unsuited for modern times. He was offering timeless wisdom that becomes increasingly valuable in our reactive age. Amid constant stimulation, we distinguish ourselves by responding less and observing more. By interrupting the cycle of automatic reactions and internal chatter, we begin to understand ourselves better. When we use non-reaction as an intentional pause, we project a stronger presence that commands respect and admiration. Reacting less isn't about becoming passive. It's about conserving our energy for meaningful actions that truly matter. If you're ready to take the next step, remember any of these practical suggestions. The 10-second pause, digital response delays, or focused listening exercises. Each can bring you closer to a new way of engaging with relationships and managing your internal world. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you've made it this far, you're clearly interested in deeper discussions. Check out our next 2 recommended videos that can help you navigate daily challenges.